it's funny. I haven't really looked at porn lately, and the only porn I have looked at is more informational based.
It's more informational?
Like, because I want to make you happier. Like I want
like how-tos?
Yeah. Yeah. Dead serious. Because, well, our old stuff was like pretty steak and potatoes. Like
it was vanilla.
It was, but vanilla's a great flavor.
I love vanilla.
Yeah, I love vanilla. I love vanilla.
I
would argue vanilla is the best flavor there is.
So apparently, Bert Kreischer's wife, LeeAnn, has a podcast called Wife of the Party. It's an absolute train wreck of a podcast. The most popular episodes either have her husband Bert on them or other comedians' wives like Tom Segura's wife and Joey Diaz's wife. I mean, the grift is never ending with these people. To add to the cringe, the episode that just dropped today was Bert and his wife talking about their sex life. Her theme was the idea of dating your husband to improve your relationship. This idea has been going around for years, but Bert's wife LeeAnn was talking about it as if she'd just discovered it. And the funny thing was, Bert just kept hijacking the conversation, going off on irrelevant tangents. A couple of times they were just sitting there trying to remember what they were talking about.
We went to the Saddle Ranch for dinner.
Yep.
And we got done. We had just a regular dinner. We talked about the kids and wasn't like a crazy dinner.
No.
Saddle Ranch is right next to the Comedy Store, and it's one of my favorite places in the world, but it's very young and hip for kids. And, and like we're like two old feet there. And then we get ready to drive home. You're driving home. I had drinks. I go into the bathroom, and you come out of the bathroom, and you're like, "Oh my God, a boy and a girl walked into the girls' bathroom." I said, "Yeah." She's like, "What do you think they were doing?"
I did not say that. I said they're going to go in the stall.
They're going to go in the stall, and I said, "Yeah." And you're like, "Can you believe that?" And I went, "Yeah, we used to be those people." And you're like, "What?"
No, you are so telling this like you're the hero. And that is not how that happened.
Hold on.
That is not how that happened.
Okay, how did it happen?
I came out and went, I said, they just went in there.
A girl walked in.
They just went in there going to in the stall. And you were like, "Yeah? Really?" And I went, "Yeah."
I did say that used to be us. And you went, and I go, "They're young." But I didn't say it I didn't say it shitty, and I didn't say it accusatory. I just said it matter of factly, like, yeah, they're kids. That's what kids do. Mm-hmm. Like, we used to be kids, but not like we used to be kids. I literally said, yeah, like I had no interest in that stall, but I was like, yeah, we used to do that. That's what kids do. We get in the car, we listen, we drive over the hill, we pull into our house, and you pull a little under the carport, put it in park, and then proceed to get naked
in the bathroom stall
and jump on me, and we have sex in the car. It catches me totally off guard.
It was really fun.
No, men should each other.
Totally. It would help us out so much.
One and two are money and sex, then we could just kill those two birds with one stone.
Exactly.
Get some dude that's into us.
And we'd be so relieved.
Yeah.
We can take care of 1 through 7.
I think I date like a more manly, masculine man.
You think
not
so?
hairy.
Another bear?
No, not as hairy as Tom, but like I'd go, if I could find my amount of hair is perfect.
Uh-huh.
But no,
I had another thought, and it was, I wanted to comment on what you said before, and I don't remember what it was.
I said,
when I said, let me go back to the girlfriends.
Halston, what was I talking about?
Everywhere Bert goes, he pulls the same shit. He's either waiting for the other person to stop talking so he can tell some bullshit story, or he just straight out interrupts and takes the conversation in a completely different direction. It makes it even funnier when he does it to his wife, though, because she actually calls him out on it. But the cringe only gets worse from there. I'm going to take you through some of the weird shit Bert was saying in a moment. He was spilling all these random intimate details, and at one point, it felt like he was talking to his sex therapist. Like I said in my previous video, we've definitely reached the podcast post-saturation point. It's basically a game of how far can we go just shit-talking with a camera on. I also have some clips from Bertcast from yesterday where Bert whinges to Mark Normand about how annoying his audience is becoming for constantly whinging about how he flaunts his wealth, so definitely stick around for that too. Just quickly though, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on any of my uploads. We're just over 3,500 subscribers. Massive thank you to all of you who are supporting this show. We're going to hit 10,000 pretty soon, so make sure you're subscribed if you're interested in getting in at the ground level. Oh, and by the way, I hope you've got a vomit bag handy.
Like one time we were in the old house. We had just moved in. I think everything was fine and everything was great. And I just said, playing around, I was like, maybe I should tie you up tonight. And you went like this, no. And I went, okay. And you're like, no, I'm just saying like, why? And I went, I don't know why. I was just suggesting. And you're like, no, why would you even bring that up? And I went, no. And you're like, do you need that? And it was like such an accusatory conversation that I was like, note to self, never bring up any new sexual ideas around her because she is not that person. But in a weird way, you 100% were. I
had a mom who was very sexual, and I was not going to be that mom. And I think I maybe course corrected a little too much because I would never be walked in on. I would never, because I walked in on my mom and having sex with like the neighbor. It's different probably when it's your dad.
Yeah.
But with like, oh, it's the neighbor and they were just having a romp. And as an adult, I get it. But I remember what that felt like as a child. And it didn't feel good. And to have her be so sexualized, just walking around, I was never going to do that to my kids.
Lingerie is great and all, but like, I never understood it at strip clubs. You're like, it's
in the way. Get it out of the way.
It's like they put on like, they come out in like sexy lingerie, and you're like, all right, now I know you're taking off, so take it off.
Well, my comment wasn't about the lingerie.
No, but that's a great.
My comment was about, I love what you said, but my comment was about the ability to talk about what you like and don't like or want to do or don't want to do.
Our ability to talk about that has escalated within this last month, 2 months, exponentially. Exponentially. And so much so that like I think and all of a sudden we are kissing.
Yeah.
Like we're high schoolers.
Yeah.
And kissing is fun as shit.
It is fun. It's very fun.
But I remember trying to get you to kiss, and you would be like, okay, all right, okay.
Well, I think for a long time, I felt like kissing 99% of the time led to you wanting to have sex. Like there was no middle. I couldn't just kiss and be like, okay, see ya. That wasn't what I felt was happening. Like if the kissing started, you were like, okay.
Well, you know what it's like?
The bottom
it's
brain's
like
awake.
Diet Coke and keto.
I don't know what that means.
So they tell you not to drink Diet Coke while you're in ketosis because it'll trigger your brain to go, I want some sweet shit.
Yeah.
And you go, well, then now the floodgates are open.
Yeah.
Now your brain's like, I need sweet shit.
Yeah, that's right.
And so you looked at like kissing as the Diet Coke. You're like, don't give him Diet Coke because he's gonna want the sweet shit.
Yep.
He's in
ketosis. I don't want the sweet shit. I just want the kiss.
Yeah.
What the fuck did we just watch? This whole podcast was basically a cringe compilation of Bert and his wife sharing the most intimate details about their sex lives, bringing up old traumas, and somehow painting it as romantic advice for their listeners, who presumably are mostly women. Now, if you're a woman watching a podcast with Bert Kreischer to improve your sex life, I'd say you've got a few more problems than you thought. Get some help. And yet again, we have another example of the Bert Kreischer grift. Instead of slowing down, working on his comedy, coming up with new original content, he's spraying our eyes with cringe podcasts. I've seriously lost count of how many podcasts this guy does. It's unbelievable. He's completely out of control. His wife's podcast has been going for over 5 years with almost 300 episodes, but it has less than 50,000 subscribers. Some of the recent episodes barely have 1,000 views, and most of them only have 1,000 or 2,000. Just quit already. Clearly there isn't an audience for this shit. Imagine if she wasn't Bert Kreischer's wife. Even so, he just doesn't seem to have the pulling power. Maybe the producers behind his Machine movie should have paid more attention to all these fringe podcasts that he's helped set up that nobody watches. The fact that these guys have several podcasts under their belt that clearly exist just to play ads goes to show how arrogant and disrespectful they are to their audience, and they offer no entertainment value. Take a look at this clip from Bertcast yesterday with Mark Normand.
I mean, comedies. I know that you've always been worried about this shoe dropping of when's the comedy boom going to end. I mean, it's going to end for some people. It will. There are some people, I'll tell you names, that are like getting by with very minimal talent.
Right.
That don't work very hard, aren't very ambitious, that are like kind of getting pulled into the ebb.
Yeah.
And then there's gangsters that are going to be around forever. That's just the way it works.
The lack of self-awareness is just mind-blowing. He literally just described himself. But wait, there's more. He goes on to explain one of the reasons why his fans are slowly becoming sick of him, and as usual, it's our fault, not his.
When we bought the big house, I had a hard time doing Instagram stories because I didn't want to show it.
Of course.
And I was so embarrassed of showing it because I was afraid that I would be unrelatable. Like, because I was so I was regular in my old house. It was small. Everyone thought it was really big. And then they'd come there and be like, this is tiny.
I remember that. I did think that house was small.
Yeah, it was tiny. It was tiny. It was it was 1,000 square feet. Was it? No, 1,200 square feet. 1,200 square feet. And the lot was 7,000. And then we moved to this big house that looked opulent. It looked beautiful. LeeAnn did a great. And no one knows that I mean, it doesn't matter if they know or they don't know, but like, we didn't spend a ton of money. We did it. We got lucky, and we got a great opportunity.
That spigot, I love that spigot you got on the counter. You got the ice thing, the crushed ice. Oh,
those
beautiful.
were the treats. Those were rich people treats.
Love the treats, like a wine cooler or something like that, a humidor. Woo, baby.
I have 3 humidors now. They're pretty fucking. I have so many cigars, I'll never get through them. Now is when the tide shifts, and there will be people that hate me.
Yes.
And I was like, and I knew it was coming, and I was like, and then you're like, okay, what am I going to change? Am I going to change so that people don't like me?
They're going to hate
am I
either
just
way.
going to? Yeah, they're going to hate. People are going to hate. People are going to hate. I hate.
But you got the Tampa in you. You
Yeah.
know, like that's never going away. You got a little of that Florida highway, just beer drinking college party guy.
Yeah, I remember when Tom was telling me like, yo, you can't show that on Instagram, and I was like, yeah, but hang on. If I don't show, no, it wasn't Tom. I'm sorry. It was not Tom. It was, and you can edit this out. And he was like, you can't show that shit on Instagram. You can't show that. You can't show that. You're getting extra nice stuff. You can't show like sitting in a box at a game.
Right.
You can't show that. You can't show that. You can't. You getting on a private jet. You can't show that shit. And then I was like, but that's what regular people do.
Yeah.
Like my goal is to stay as grounded as possible. Like a regular person gets in a skybox and is like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And if you get on a private jet, the first thing anyone does
Good point.
is takes a million pictures.
The more pour, the more pics.
Yeah. And so it was tough to like regulate where was normal.
Yeah.
But this is all happening to you right now.
Now, here's the thing that Bert Kreischer and his mate Tom Segura just can't seem to get their heads around. We don't give a fuck if you're rich. We all know you're rich. The problem is you're just a comedian. We don't care about your house and your cars and your watches, private jets, etc. You're just a comedian. And when you've got good material, yeah, sure, you guys can be pretty funny. These guys are moving so far away from their core comedy entertainment that they're basically, like Bert even says himself, lifestyle vloggers. If they just stopped with all their cringe self-congratulations and put more effort into their comedy material, then it wouldn't feel like one massive grift. And I'll tell you what, the saddest part is they seem to understand the problem perfectly in a way. You heard him. The problem is they see it as our fault, not theirs, and they refuse to go back to focusing on just entertaining us instead of using us as sheep to make ad dollars off. Now, I know Joe Rogan isn't perfect either. Nobody is. But at least his podcast still has entertainment value. He puts some effort into getting half-decent guests on who actually have something to say. Sure, he helps his mates here and there, but you can't deny that every week there's at least one good JRE episode worth watching. As for the others, it's just a merry-go-round of grifters trying to keep the conversation going, hoping nobody notices they're running out of shit to say. They're hoping we'll just keep watching no matter what. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Remember, best comment gets pinned. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button and become a subscriber so you don't miss out on all of my latest uploads. I'll chat to you guys soon. See you in the next one.
That's the one thing that I would really miss if someone said, "Oh, you can't have that again."
Okay.
Sugar, probably any kind of sugar or dessert.
Could you do life without sex?
No, I don't think so. Could you?
Come on. I mean, I've done it before, but
Well, I've done it before too.
no, but I've done it long stretches.
Uh-huh.
I've done it so long that
You weren't sure it worked
when I had
anymore?
sex with you for the first time, I felt awkward that someone else was in the room when I had an orgasm. I was like, I don't normally do this with people.
Right?